Welcome back to the deep dive, your shortcut to, well, to being well informed.
Okay.
Today we're tackling a big one, the ultimate managerial skill, really, motivating others.
It is. It's huge.
We're going to cut through all the articles, all the noise, and figure out how you get your team not just to do the work, but to genuinely want to.
And that's the critical distinction right there. Our sources, they contrast true motivation with these harmful shortcuts.
Like what? Fear.
Fear, intimidation, things that just, in the end, destroy trust. The real mission for a manager is to instill what we call intrinsic motivation.
Getting staff to motivate themselves.
Exactly. So they're driven by their own interests. They feel a sense of control.
Okay, so that's the foundational tension then, this pull between that internal drive and all the external forces. So what are the different flavors we need to be tracking?
Well, the gold standard is that intrinsic drive. It's when you dedicate effort, time to long-term goals, simply because the work itself is interesting.
It gives you that feeling of control.
Right. Think of a manager who genuinely loves diving into data analysis just for the sake of discovery. That's intrinsic.
But hold on, isn't a bonus or a tight deadline necessary sometimes? I mean, are the sources saying all external rewards are bad?
Not bad, just different. Yeah. Extrinsic motivation is, well, it's common. It's when you act to escape punishment or get a reward.
Working late to avoid the boss's wrath.
Or turn some extra money. But what the sources show is that this leads to far less persistence. You feel controlled, not empowered.
Okay, so here's where it gets nuanced, right? This is the aha moment for you, the listener. We go beyond those two basics into two deeper types. First up is identified motivation.
And identified motivation is a fantastic thing to see. It's when you take an external goal and you genuinely adopt it as your own because you see the value.
So like developing a skill that helps the company, but you fully accept it. It's really for your personal growth first.
You've internalized it. Exactly.
And then there's its dangerous twin, interjected motivation. This one's tricky.
Very tricky because it feels internal, but it's actually just self-coercion. You're acting to avoid guilt or to meet some requirement you've put on yourself.
Forcing yourself to go to the gym even when you hate it.
Yes, that's a perfect example. And it's fragile. It's totally unsustainable.
So if motivation is this fragile ecosystem, where does a manager even start?
With themselves. You have to start with yourself.
Really?
Absolutely. Look, a manager's own mood, their own motivation, it's contagious. It spreads to the team like wildfire. If you're complaining, if you're blaming others, that toxicity destroys drive faster than anything.
And there are tools for this self-discovery.
For sure. Things like the DISC assessment, which helps you understand your own behavioral style. It's essential.
So if motivation starts with me, how do I avoid the trap of assuming my team is just a mirror of my own drive?
That's the critical pivot point.
Yeah.
You cannot assume everyone is motivated the same way. The sources are so clear on this.
An extrovert might want one thing.
Right, an extrovert might thrive on clear, open feedback, while an introvert often prefers positive, more private reinforcement.
And adapting to that requires specific tools, things like Myers-Briggs or engagement cards, not to label people.
No, never to label. It's to help you tailor how you give feedback.
Right.
And underpinning all of this is what we call the managerial superpower.
Which is?
Deep listening. Not just hearing the words, but truly listening. That plus eye contact, mirroring. It builds the trust you need to find out what really drives someone.
Okay, so once you understand their specific drive, the manager's role shifts. It's about helping them overcome that initial inertia. Right?
That paralyzing first step, the one that leads to procrastination.
And simple, encouraging language is key here. Things like, you do not have to be great at the beginning, you just have to start.
Yes, or the first step is difficult, but once you get moving, you'll pick up speed. But crucially,
there's a follow-through.
There has to be. The manager must ask the staff member what their very first action will be, and then you positively reinforce that decision. You can't just drop a quote and walk away.
And the research also suggests we often overlook the power of specific language, not just about finishing a task, but recognizing character.
Oh, this is so powerful.
Like saying, Neil, the way you show empathy with others is very effective and an example to us all. Or even admitting fault.
I was wrong. You were right. Thank you for sharing your views. That kind of character recognition builds trust so much faster than any incentive.
So the core takeaway seems pretty clear.
It is. Intrinsic motivation, the kind that's tied to purpose and personal growth, is the only sustainable goal for a truly successful team.
So if that's the case, what does this all mean for you, the manager? Our sources conclude that even when motivation is high, staff will lose it if they lack the skills to succeed.
A huge point.
So, if intrinsic motivation is the goal, what happens if your team wants to succeed but they just can't? What if the most potent form of motivation isn't inspiring them at all, but simply removing the barriers to their own competence? Something to ponder until our next deep dive.